So we're here. It's your man RTP here on the Pewter and Red podcast. No music in the background. Hotline number 850-778-5282. Call and leave a message, rant, whatever you want to do. It's your team, it's your channel, it's your hotline, it's your voicemail. Leave a voicemail. This is this is not happy, man. I'm not happy. I'm not happy at all. I'm not happy at all. So a while ago, the week after or I should say the week following the Tampa Bay the Tampa Bay playing the Philadelphia Eagles, I made a video. The video was called, I'm looking for it right now. The video was called Trouble in Paradise. This is the video. It was called Trouble in Paradise. And in this video, Trouble in Paradise, we go over a press conference of Dave Canales. And in that press conference, Dave Canales says something that scared the crap out of me. And that was him saying, you're going to learn that we're going to be stubborn running the ball. That was nerve-wracking to me. I tried to ask people, do you think that that means something? Are you worried? I asked other Buck fans, are you worried about it? On Twitter. They said no, doesn't mean anything. If you talk to Buck fans on YouTube, Twitter, wherever else, and you ask them, why did we lose to the Eagles? And I know you guys, there's people that's like, why do you keep bringing up the Eagles? Because that was a big game. And if you ask other people, why did the Bucs lose to the Eagles? You will hear people saying Baker didn't play his best. Kind of true. That's kind of true. Defense couldn't stop the run. We struggled trying to stop the run, but that's not why we lost that game. What else? We couldn't run the ball. That's definitely true. We couldn't run the ball. You will hardly hear people talk about Dave Canales. You will hardly hear people bring up the name Dave Canales. And I brought it up. I made a video of the press conference after he said what he said, which gave me a red flag. And that was the same, gave me the vibes of a bad coach trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. It gave me that vibes. Bad coach trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. And I said it. Now, I don't think that's what it is because it was just one game. I don't know. But I talked about how we have to watch out for that. And unfortunately, I also said, unfortunately, we're not going to get our answer next week because we have to play a team that's going to force us. And I said, maybe the Saints might do it. Maybe. Unfortunately and fortunately, I'm not mad that the Saints weren't able to make us do it. But when we played the Saints, they weren't able to stop our run. We didn't run all over them all crazy, but they weren't able to stop our run and make us one-dimensional. And there's nothing wrong with that. Okay? Let me say that. There is nothing wrong with that, right? We talk about the Falcons. And I told Falcon fans, listen, first of all, I won't get Bijan because I'm not taking a running back in the first round. I don't care how good he is, period. I don't care. Is Bijan like that? Yes, Bijan is like that. He is. But the run game has nothing to do with Bijan. The run game has to do with the O-line. I'm so sick of people when the run game's not working, blaming the running back. Okay, sometimes it could be the running back if they're not seeing holes that are open constantly and they're just not seeing it or they're just not hitting it. But for the most part, it's not the running back. It's the O-line. The O-line's not making holes. It just is what it is. Sometimes the D-line is just like that. You just can't move that D-line. There's D-lines out there like that. We're one of them for the most part. And I told Falcon fans, I said, listen, I get you have a decent run game because they don't have a great run game. They have a decent run game. But when teams shut you down, you're going to have to worry about Ritter. And Ritter's not good. And we see the record that they have now, and they're going to continue to do whatever they do. We came in here saying, I don't think we're going to have a dope run game, but we can probably have a good run game. No, we haven't really had a good run game. What we've been having is a good enough run game. Good enough to stay ahead of the chains. Good enough to get a first down on third and short. Good enough run game. But what happens when that good enough plays a good D-line? It's no longer good enough. It's not good. It's just not good. You're not doing nothing. Good enough run game is good enough to run against the Saints. Good enough run game is good enough to run against, who was it, the Vikings? Or we ran a little bit good enough in the Vikings, good enough in the who was the other game that we ran good enough? Maybe the Bears. It's good enough to work in those games. But when you run across the Eagles who got a good D-line, the Lions who got a good D-line, good enough isn't good enough anymore. Which is okay. It's fine. That's the game. It's football. That's what happens. That's fine. I'm not mad because we can't run the ball. That's football. A good defensive coordinator, even if he doesn't have a good defense, will know how to stop the run first. Now, they might get killed over the top, or they might not have a good secondary to cover when you pass it, but a good defensive coordinator is going to know how to stop the run. No matter how much assets, how much extra players they got to put in the box to stop the run, they will stop the run if they make it their game plan. And if you're a good team, you have to be able to say, okay, this just isn't one of those games. Before we get to that, I want to talk about Baker because I know they're going to have a press conference with Baker. Baker was here today, and he didn't have one of his best games. When I talk about somebody and their position, I let you know from the beginning where I place that player. Do I think he's elite? Do I think he's great? Do I think he's good? Do I think he's average? Do I think he's bad? Baker, I put in the average. He is an average quarterback. With our O line, with our weapons, and with some good play calling, at times he can look good. He's looked good. That Saints game, he looked good in that Saints game. He can do that. But he needs the right O line, he needs the right weapons, he needs the right play calls. But Baker as a whole, as a player, as an NFL quarterback, he's an average quarterback with a big heart and and some grit. Our press conference is about to come up. Press conference wise, NFL quarterback wise, arm wise, he's an average quarterback. He missed some throws today over the top. We needed those throws to compete. Shoot, not even compete. We hit those throws, we probably win this game. It changes everything. Hitting those throws changes everything.
Todd, I think they were 9 of 15 on third down, a lot of third and long. What was going on the defensive side there?
The 2 touchdowns they scored, one was 3rd and 10, one was 3rd and 14. We had 2 busts. Should have never happened, and that's on us as coaches, on us as players.
Well, what happened to the other third downs? Why were they so successful throughout the game doing it?
They got some 3rd and shorts. It wasn't 3rd and long. They got some 3rd and shorts. Give them credit on a few, and we busted a few, and we misplayed them from a leverage standpoint. So we got some work to do.
What's more frustrating, the lack of success on third down or the inability to run the ball tonight?
The entire game.
Yes.
When you lose a ball game, you don't have one thing that you're happy about.
Can you take us through the decision to punt on 4th and 2?
Pretty sure the ball was kind of back there at the time. It was about 11 minutes left in the game. We felt we had time. They ate up more clock than we wanted to.
Todd, this is twice with the Eagles and then with the Lions. Eagles are going against some of the best in the NFC and haven't really been close. Is it disconcerting to see those 2 games not be as close as they were?
Well, I felt it was close. So, it was 10-3 at halftime. We felt we made 2 busts in the second half from a defensive standpoint. Offensively, we can do a lot better from a scoring standpoint. I thought it was a hard-fought game. I thought the mistakes we made put the game to 20-6, and we couldn't recover.
Todd, along the lines of what Greg asked. Last year, going back to San Francisco, Dallas in the playoffs. This year, Philadelphia and Detroit. Is it just that your squad doesn't match up well with physical teams?
I thought our squad matched up pretty good today. I thought we made a lot of mistakes and looked like we came off a bye week. We don't compare who we play and how we play. I think each game is different. I do think we have a good football team. I think we're young. I think it felt like we came off a bye week and we looked sluggish and we played like that.
Elijah Cansey seemed to have played a good game today. What did you see from him?
Can't say I was totally focusing on him. I saw him get a sack at the end. I'll see the film and see what happened.
Todd, offensively, Baker's been really good on third down. It wasn't so much tonight. He missed a few throws. I know it wasn't just him, but could you talk about offensively on third down some of the frustrations?
Well, they did a good job on third down. Completing a higher amount of percentage. We were, I think, 2 of 12 on third down, which was not very good at all. We weren't good on first or second down either, so you can say the whole game was a wash from an offensive standpoint.
I know the ground game has been kind of a work in progress throughout the season, but what about the screen game today? Your thoughts on that? I know it seems like twice Baker has passes batted down at the line of scrimmage. Just your thoughts.
They're going to bat some passes down. I just don't think we functioned very well, and we moved very sluggish on offense.
Todd, it looked like Baker took a hit to his non-throwing shoulder late in the game. Is there any reason for concern there?
It was his hand, actually. It was his left hand, not his shoulder. X-rays were negative. He got a contusion. He should be okay.
Chris Godwin was not a large part of the game plan, at least until the final 2 minutes. Does that feel like a missed opportunity with one of your better players?
It takes 11 guys to get Chris the ball. So if we're not protecting up front or we don't have time or they're doubling him, you got to go elsewhere. Credit them for a good game plan, and, we'll go back and reload.
I know that Baker wasn't able to complete a pass to Mike Evans until the second half, and I want to say he was like 1 for 7 when targeting Trey Palmer. Was there anything they were doing defensively that was making that a challenge?
We missed some throws, obviously. They played some too high. They mixed it up pretty good. Aaron did a good job there, and we missed some throws. Again, we looked sluggish coming off a bye.
What's it going to take for this team to run the ball consistently when it wants to?
Work, practice, effort, coming together. And we're 3-2. We'll get back to work tomorrow, and we'll go from there.
Todd, you talked about the team a couple times now being sluggish off the bye week. What do you attribute that to? The players last week?
They get time off, so that's not even a question. It's a matter of executing. We're not making any excuses. They beat us. I give Dan and Detroit all the credit in the world. We know what we look like, and we got to get back to work and fix it.
When guys are sluggish out on the field, it can be not just a physical, but sometimes a mental thing too. Do you actually think was it more mental than physical, or a combination of both?
It really doesn't matter when you lose a ball game and you're sluggish. You get back to work and you fix everything.
Todd, you mentioned Bucs on the 2 touchdowns on 3rd and long, but they had 2 other conversions on 3rd and 10 or longer to have 4 in the game. Is that more than individual busts? Is that a more fundamental problem?
It's a lot more when you get 3rd and 10 plus. It's not a fundamental problem. It's communication. It's things that we can do better.
How much too of those 3rd and longs that you guys were giving up as a defense were a function of just being out on the field for so long?
There's no function of that at all. 2 of them went for touchdowns. 3rd and long, you got to get off the field.
You mentioned a bye a couple times. Did they handle the bye week well? I mean, they were 3-1. You talked about handling success as well as.
They handled the bye week very well. They came back in shape. They practiced hard. They was in tune with the game plan. Give Detroit all the credit in the world. We make no excuses.
What's going to be your message to the team after this?
Getting back to work. I told them we look sluggish, and when you have a hard-fought game in the first half and you make too many mistakes, one team's going to come out on top. They didn't make any mistakes. We did. We lost the game.
Good. Thank you.
Yep.
So going back to what we were saying with Baker Mayfield as he's about to come up to a press conference next, we knew, I've been saying it from the beginning. I did a video, yesterday, or I think it was yesterday, where we watched a Baker Mayfield press conference, and I told everybody I completely believe in Baker being humble. I completely believe, basically saying, listen, I'm invested in Baker. I'm rooting for Baker. Go Baker. But I also, at the end of that press conference, said, I do still feel like he's limited, though. I do still feel like he's not the guy for us as a franchise. I no longer dislike him. I no longer feel like he's a bad guy, but he's limited as a quarterback. Here's Baker.
Baker, you guys have been so good on 3rd down. Today was kind of the opposite story. Can you just address?
We sucked today. I sucked today. We sucked today. It was awful from the get-go. I mean, it just can't play like that. Didn't start fast. We didn't pick it up in the middle, and we didn't finish strong. So, plain and simple, we have to be better. The Lions are a good ball club that if we play like that, we're going to lose every time. So, I think the defense and special teams did an amazing job yet again. And
special teams really did an amazing job.
There's really no other way around it.
You missed Palmer a couple of times, obviously. Like, if you hit 1 or 2, that's a different game.
Yeah. Not only those 2 to Trey, but the tipped interception. Mike was going to score a touchdown. Just one of those days where
nothing went right.
I had everything we wanted, but didn't hit it, didn't execute, and so it's frustrating as hell. So we have to find ways to make it work, and it starts with me. And so we'll fix it.
What's the most frustrating part of it?
Just knowing that the plays are there. There were plays that we should have had and should have executed to where they were game-changing plays, and we didn't do it, and left a lot out there that we should have taken advantage of.
Baker, your coach just said you guys were sluggish coming out of the bye week about 3 or 4 times in the press conference.
I mean,
Reason for that?
I don't know, but we'll fix it. I'll fix it. I'll fix my mistakes. I'll fix what I was doing wrong, and we'll get it going. There's zero excuse for our offense to come out and lay an egg like that. That was horrible.
It seemed like it was you weren't able to complete a pass to Mike until the second half, and Trey Palmer, I think you were like 1 of 7 targeting him. Was there anything they were doing with those 2 guys downfield that was making that?
They did a good job passing some things off. I think there were a few plays early on that we could have hit those guys, but didn't exactly do it. And no, they did a good job passing some things off in the red zone. One of the plays on 2nd down in the red zone early on in the game, 2nd and 3, they wound up bringing a pressure. Both Mike and Chris would have had a one-on-one, but they did a good job bringing that pressure to get us out of it. And so Yeah, there were definitely plays there that we just didn't have them today.
Baker Todd said your goal said your hand came back in.
Yeah, X-rays are good. Just hurts. Took a nice metal face mask right to the hand, so feels good.
What about the screen game? Because I know even at times when the ground game has kind of struggled this year, it seems like you've been able to lean on that, but that was a little bit more of a struggle today.
A little bit. You know, their guys are real aggressive downhill players, so you saw some of the RPOs that we were able to take advantage of. But then at the same time, when we did hand it off, they would rally and tackle the ball. It was the same things that we talked about earlier in the week. They play extremely hard. They rally. They play. They play for each other, and so you can tell that's a part of their stopping the run game is how hard they play.
Baker, you talked about handling success as well as the low expectations to start the season. Do you guys feel like you handled the bye week mentally as you should have?
I thought we did, to be honest with you, the mental aspect of it, but now translating it and coming out here and doing our job, absolutely not. So I thought we still had a good week of practice, you know, knocking the rust off after the bye week, but just not to come out here and not execute. That's inexcusable.
An attitude thing? Is it a physical thing of just maybe having too much rest? What do you attribute that to?
At a certain point, we got to get pissed off as an offense. We should be putting a lot of points up on the board.
Yes.
It's got to be, you know, we talk about the standard about winning around here, but offensively, we need to look at it in a smaller picture. We should be putting up a lot more points than we have been. And so we need to be accountable with that. And starts with me, and we'll get that going.
Baker, a lot of talk going into this week.
I love that he said that. I love that he said that.
How do you think they held up today? Seemed like they did pretty
I thought they did good. Yeah, they have guys that they play really hard. So there was always a couple guys that would come loose late in the pass play. Hit my hand a couple times. They would just, you know, a little bit of annoying pass rush. They wouldn't get any sacks, but just hit home and let their presence be known. So they do a good job. But our guys did a good job as well.
Baker, how disappointing has the running game been? It's been up and down for you guys all year. Really struggled today. Again.
Yeah, disappointing. You know, you got to be able to run the ball to win in this league consistently. But it's not just the run game. It's the pass game execution. Obviously today on third downs, and then anytime we had the ball, didn't execute. So there's a lot of things we have to fix. So we're going to look at the mirror. It's going to be harsh, but our guys can take it because we know where we want to go.
How much more difficult does it make it offensively, though, when you're having trouble finding balance like you did today against Philadelphia?
We have balance. We just couldn't run. Too much balance.
Yeah, I mean, it is hard when you can't find your rhythm whatsoever. It makes it very difficult. But yeah, we had a few plays that should have sparked us, should have been able to get us going and get into a rhythm. We just didn't continue it. So that was the disappointing part about today.
Did you play up the finger or throwing in?
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all over the place.
You're all right though when that one play went out of bounds. I mean, that looked a little scary.
Yeah, turf burn. I mean, I don't even want to say anything about the refs because I'll get a fine letter, but I'm all cut up from the freaking sideline stuff, the carpet and whatnot. So wish they'd call it both ways.
Thanks, Baker.
So that was Baker Mayfield. Let me say what I was talking about earlier when I said I'm so glad he said that. I love that he said that. What he said was, we're a good team and blah, 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 but we got to look at this at a smaller picture offensively and want to do better or whatever. But I don't know the exact words, but basically what he's saying is he's not trying to be in a situation like Tony Dungy. That's what he's basically saying, right? In other words, listen, we know what this team is. We know the strength is the defense. We know we're going to win games because of this defense, right? But as an offense, we can't just sit there and be like, oh, you know, oh, pity us. Don't worry. We got the defense and hold us to a higher standard, because we hold the defense to a higher standard. Don't get me wrong. They only scored 20 points. I'm still not happy with the defense because I hold the defense to a very high standard, right? We didn't get no turnovers, all that stuff. The problem with Tony Dungy was he held the defense to a higher standard, and then we babied the offense because we knew that the offense wasn't our strong suit, but we babied them too much. That was the problem. And what Baker basically said was, we got to look at ourselves and make this a smaller situation and be like, we get it. Defense is the team. We get it. Defense is the strong suit. We get it. They're the guys that helps us win the game and wins the game, and we just got to not turn over the ball. But when do we look at each other and say, yo, can we be better than just be like the average offense that we don't turn over the ball? Like, yo, let's be a problem ourselves. Let the offense have some attitude too and go be a problem. Let's go attack. Let's not just stay here and be like, oh, as long as we don't turn over the ball, we're doing our part offensively. No, enough of that. Like, let's go play. Like, now, again, he's not saying all that, right? He's basically saying we got to look in the center, make it a smaller situation, and just understand that us as an offense, we got to be better. We can't rely so much on the defense. We got to be better as an offense, which is true, but it's bigger than that. Let's go bigger than that. Let's not just be better as an offense. Let's go be one of the better offenses in the league, because it's possible with these weapons. It's very possible. We did it for I don't know how many years until last year. So let's go be one of the better offenses in the NFL. Let's not just be better. Let's be one of the best offenses in the NFL, like we've been doing for years and years and years. Maybe not running the ball, but passing the ball. So I'm glad he said that, because that's the kind of attitude I need in that offense right now, in that offensive huddle. And but that's the kind of attitude I need in that offensive huddle, which is we need to just be better, bro. But here's the problem. Here's the problem. He's the reason why we're not better. That's the problem. He's the reason why we're not better. Like, we're ready to be better. The offense is ready to be better. He has to hit his throws. He had a bad game today. He missed throws. A couple batted down. It was bad. It was a bad game by Baker. I would put 30%. I would put 30% on Baker. This was a bad game by Baker. 30% on Baker. And the reason why, if this was Tom Brady, I'd put a lot more on the quarterback. The percentage would be a lot higher. Now, do you get what I'd be saying? Wait. Did you just say you put 30% on Baker, but if that was Tom Brady, you would have given him more percentage of he's the reason why we didn't win? Yes, that's exactly what I just said. Why? Because I hold those two players at different standards. I hold Baker here. I hold Tom Brady up here. Tom Brady has the options to switch plays. Tom Brady has the options to not run a play. He has the option to do whatever the heck he wants. He does the game planning. He does everything. It's all Brady. Baker, we're babying Baker. We're not letting him go loose. So 30% Baker, I would say 60% Dave Canales. And then I would give 10% for the defense because of those third downs. That's where this game was. That's what happened in this game. Like I said, Baker limits us as an offense. We can't be explosive as we want to be. We cannot hit that next level that we want to hit. There's still, I said this before, there's two levels that we can still go up as an offense. One is being explosive. The other one is being consistently explosive. Like just constantly being a problem. Right now, Jared Goff is on that second level. There's still one more level that Jared Goff can be at. When you watch Jared Goff and the Lions, there's one more level that the Lions can go offensively. And that was the level that Jared Goff peaks, and then he comes down to the second level. Then he peaks up there, then he comes down to the second level. That's why the Rams got rid of Jared Goff. Because he can play at that highest level, but he'll peak up there and then he'll just come back down. He can't stay there. Missing throws down the field, missing big time throws down the field. But then you saw today, he was on it, right? Down the field throws, everything. He was on it. That's what I'm talking about. Baker can't even get to the second level yet. That's where we're limited. Now let's go to the main problem. Let's go to the 60% of why we lost this game once again. The same person of why we lost the Eagles game, or not lost the Eagles game, but why we didn't have a chance in the Eagles game. Dave Canales. Dave Canales. This is the second game where we had a game where they shut down the run game. They shut down the run game. And we continue to waste a whole half and most of the third quarter trying to run the ball. And they're not letting us, and we're wasting downs, and we're putting ourselves in third and long because we're trying to continue to run the ball. This is a problem. This is now officially a problem. I was worried about it before. It is now officially a problem. We've heard plenty of times, and again, you hear the reporters. I hate those reporters. I really do. I really don't like those reporters. I really wish I lived in Florida and that I could get me one of those reporting badges and I can be in there because, those reporters would want to fight me. I wouldn't want to fight them. They would want to fight me because of the things I would be saying. Because those reporters, I just don't like those reporters. They are trying once again, how did you do third down? They try to make everything defense, defense, defense. No, we didn't lose because of defense. Dave Canales has said several times that the people upstairs, the people that are in the booth that are calling in and telling him, hey, it's this defense, it's that defense, it's this defense, it's that defense, that they have to repeatedly tell him over and over and over, and then sometimes even scream to him, hey, it's cover two, bro. Believe what we're saying. He has told us several times with several different situations and explained to us how he is slow to process what is happening during the game. He's already explained it, and now we've seen it for 2 games. We've seen he is slow to understand how this game is going. He is slow to adjust to the game. This is 2 games. Casual fans will sit here and say, oh my God, you're complaining 2 games out of so-and-so games. Yes, I am. Because those 2 games are the 2 games that we were forced to actually do it. It would be different if all the games we played, we were forced to change it up. We were forced to stop running the ball, and then we, did something and we found some answers and we won the games, and then we just had 2 games where we couldn't find the answer, and it would be different if that was the case, but that's not the case. What is happening is we've had, 4-2? 3-2. We had 3 games where we were able to do whatever we wanted to do, and the only thing that was stopping us was execution. We had 3 games. Listen to what I'm saying, Buck fans. We had 3 games that we were able to do whatever we wanted to do. The only thing stopping us was execution. Executing the play, good or bad. If it was bad, that's on us. If it was good, it worked. The defense didn't have no part in stopping us. We ran the ball, not great, but okay, but at least we were able to get yards and stay ahead of the chain. So again, we had 3 games where we were able to do whatever we wanted to do. The defense didn't force us to do this or that. We were able to do whatever we wanted to do. And whether it worked or didn't was because of our execution. Then we had 2 games where the defense said, we're not going to let you do this. So you're going to have to do this to beat us. And we waited all the way till the end of the game to say, okay, let's try to beat them doing this. and it was already too late. It was already too late. That's what I'm talking about. That is a problem. That is a problem as an offensive coordinator. That is a problem. When a defense shows you in the whole first quarter and in the second quarter, we are not going to let you do this. So you better throw the rock. Start dialing up some plays to throw the rock. We went through 3 quarters and we wasted drives trying to run the ball, not allowing our offense to get into rhythm. See, I've said before, Dave Canales is smart. He's a smart guy. He's not dumb. I love the way he sees the game, right? He sees the game. When we talked about him saying that, David Tompkins, I told him that, quarterbacks, the ball finds energy. Right? I thought that was so smart of him to say that. The ball finds energy. It's like a screen pass or something. Like once you shoot off real quick, it catches the quarterback's eyes, and the quarterback able to see you, and the quarterback's going to throw it to you. The ball finds energy. So do everything fast. I was like, whoo, that's great. Dave Canales has a lot of great plays. Dave Canales has a lot of great theories and a lot of these things that is like new tech, new NFL wave. New stuff, and I love it. I love it. His problems is the offense 101. That's his problem. He's up to date. He knows the new plays. He knows the new philosophies. He knows all that new flashy analytics, all that stuff he's good at. He knows it. That's great. But he's slipping on football 101. He's slipping on, if I can't run the ball, how do you get the run game going? If the run game is not going, how do you get the run game going? Well, throw some screens, do this, do that. Get them open. Get the D-line looking to pass rush, because they're not pass rushing because they're trying to stop the run, so they're slow on the pass rush. So if they're slow on the pass rush, let's throw the ball a lot more so they can try to speed up that pass rush, and then they can start ignoring the running lanes and start using the pass rush to get us, and then we open up the run, and then we run the ball again. Football 101. Oh, we got a fast little Devin Tompkins. We'll put him in a double route, a little in and out route, wide open. Corner doesn't bite on it. Why? Because we ain't thrown down the field. We haven't made him think about down the field. Corner don't even know who this guy is, so he don't even know if he should bail on a route early or not, or anything like that. Football 101. He has the plays. He has the philosophy. He has all the extra future stuff, all that good stuff. He has it. I love it. It's good. But the basics, he's missing the coaching basics, coaching 101. He's missing the basic coaching stuff. And this is stuff he could learn. I'm more than sure this is stuff that I'm hoping that Todd Bowles says, step into my office. Let me teach you something. Let me show you about this. Let me show you where you went wrong here. Let me show you what happened here. Let me show you why your offense wasn't working. Because it wasn't. And yeah, some of them was missed throws, but still. There's a lot of ways to skin a cat in the NFL. There's a lot of ways to run offenses, the same type of plays. You could literally have an offensive game plan. Go into a game, and that game plan does not work because you started here and you went there. And then you could go with the exact same play, the exact same plays, and the exact same game plan, but go in reverse. Start here and then go here, and it works. It's all about where are the focus at. The defense is focused on stopping the run. So do something to get the defense out of focusing on stopping the run. Throw over the top more. Throw a lot more plays. Keep throwing plays. Keep throwing plays. Keep throwing plays. Keep throwing plays. And now they're not focused on the run and then start running again. Football 101. Coaching 101. So that's my problem right now. And I talked about this, and I didn't make it a big deal because in the grand scheme of things, it's not a big deal. I said this I said this during the game. In the grand scheme of things, while we were watching the game live, this is not a big deal because we don't play enough teams that it's going to affect our season. We can still win the division because we only have the Eagles, the Lions, the Bills, and the 49ers. They can basically stop our run game and just kill us like that and get our offense, in a confused state. Nobody else that we play, we don't have to worry about that. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to worry about that because either their defense is not good enough to do that, or their quarterback is not good enough to make the lead big enough to where we're ever out of the game. Everybody else, our defense will be able to either stop their offense. So even if our offense does put out a game like this, we'll still be in the game and still probably pull it off. Or their defense is not good enough to force our offense to be like that. Besides the Eagles, Lions, Bills, and 49ers. So because of that, everybody else, we should still be able to win. And because of that, we should still be able to win the division. But that's it. That's it. That's it. We're not going to do nothing in the playoffs. We're not going to be a factor. Like it's easy to beat the Bucs right now. There is a simple game plan. That's the scary part. It is a simple game plan to beat the Bucs right now. If you have the team, it is a very simple game plan to beat the Bucs. If you have a defense good enough, it's a simple game plan to beat the Bucs. If you have an offense that's good enough, it's a simple game plan to beat the Bucs. So that's my rant. That's my problem right now. Again, it couldn't have been that bad, okay? Because Baker Mayfield missed some throws. So let's say this. Let's say Baker Mayfield hurt himself in the first quarter and Kyle Trask came in, right? And Kyle Trask, let's just say Kyle Trask hit those throws. And, we got the touchdowns we needed. It could have been a better game. We might have been able to win the game. Or let's just say Baker hits those throws. It could have been a better game. We could have had a chance to win the game. We might have won the game, if we hit those throws and all that stuff. It is what it is. But we don't know, but that's not my problem. That's not my problem because quarterbacks have bad days. Quarterbacks have bad days. Quarterbacks have good days. Quarterbacks have days where they play better than they should be playing. They're not that good, but they just have one of those days. It happens. It's the NFL. So even though Baker was a problem, that's not the biggest problem. That's not the biggest problem. The biggest problem is we don't have an OC that feels the game right now. He doesn't feel the game. He doesn't adjust to what the game's asking him to adjust to. That is a big problem, people. That is if we're talking about, listen, if your goals is just winning the division every year, then we're fine. Don't worry about it. I mean, we're not going to win the division every year because eventually one of these teams, the Falcons or the Saints or the Panthers, eventually they'll get a good coach, and then there'll be a problem, and then we'll go back and forth with the division and all that stuff. So that it won't be simple every year. But as long as the division's bad like this, it won't be a problem. We'll win divisions year after year. That's fine. That's cool. If that's what you want, that's cool. But I'm about championships. And I don't want to sit here and act like, all we do is win championships. But we got to have that mindset. No, you got to have that mindset. Like, we're here to win a championship. We're not here just to win a division. We got to win championships. We're biting the bullet this year. That's great. But when we're not biting the bullet and we're handing out money and getting contracts and building a championship team, we can't be thinking like this offensively. We can't have an offensive coordinator who is thinking like this and just, has this mentality of, well, no, let's just keep going. Let's just keep trying. Let's just keep trying. Oh, the game's not out of hand yet. Let's just keep trying. How are you going to keep trying until the game gets out of hand? Then when the game gets out of hand, now you don't want to try, but it's too late. Now you don't want to keep trying. Now you want to evolve to what we have to do, but now it's too late. We can't play like that. We can't play like that. We cannot play like that. That can't happen. And that's the biggest problem right now. Getting an L right now, it is what it is. Whatever. I don't care. It's the NFL. Let me know when it's week 17. Then I'll worry about what our record is. You know what I'm saying? I don't care about that. We got an L right now. Everybody else in the division got an L right now. I don't care about that. None of that matters to me right now. Low key, this whole year doesn't even matter to me because I already said it. I said it from the beginning. This whole year is just a bite the bullet year. It's just have whoever, let's see what we can do. And then when this year's over, then we take care of the contracts. We make all the contracts good. And then we sign whoever we need to sign and try to go on a championship run again. Right now, this year, it don't matter to me. I would love to win the division just so I could shove it in everybody else's face in the division. But this year, overall, doesn't mean nothing to me. But does that mean we're going to switch our OC? Because if this guy is going to be our OC for the future, and I hope he is, we can't be like this because this doesn't help us win a championship. This kind of mentality does not help us win a championship. So he has to learn something. And this, again, I wouldn't care if this was the third time or the fourth time this happened and 2 times we won. 2 times he figured it out. 2 times he adjusted, and the other 2 times he didn't. Then I wouldn't care because I would just be like, it was a bad game by Canales. It just didn't go the way Canales wanted it to go. It just was a bad game by Canales. I would just chop it up as that. But it's not. This is 2 out of 2. This is 2 games out of 2. And I know for a lot of people, it might be hard to understand what I'm trying to say or what I'm displeased at. I don't know if you guys understand. Let me know in the comment section. But I don't know if you guys understand what it is that I'm not happy about or what I'm saying the problem is, what I see as the problem. But I can't say it any easier than this is the second time the team said you're not going to run on us. You're going to have to throw passing the ball. You're going to have to win passing the ball. And this is the second time that Dave Canales said, no, we're going to keep trying to run, and wasted the game trying to do that. And didn't get our offense in a rhythm because he was trying to run the ball. Let the offense stay cold because we were trying to run the ball. Too much. Killed too many drives because we were trying to run, show that we could run the ball. And then at the end, at the last possession where we threw 3rd and 2, we throw down the field. I'm not mad at the call, but you know what I'm mad at? The fact that Baker hasn't really been throwing a lot, that he hasn't gotten warmed up, and then we want to go throw that play out there. He's been cold all game. He hasn't been hitting throws like that. All his throws that he's been hitting were stationary throws. Running backs coming back to him or running back stopped, waiting for him to throw a rocket to him. None of the throws that he made today were on stride. None of them. That's a problem. Let's get some screen plays. Let's get some easy throws. Let's get him in rhythm. Let's get his arm warmed up. But no, it never got warmed up because we would throw a throw, then we try to run the play. Then we try to run the ball again. Then we go out. Then we come back. Then we try to run the ball again. Then we try to get a throw. Then we try to get another throw. Then we try to run the ball again. Then we try to run the ball. We never got into a rhythm. And then when we said, okay, enough with the running, which was already too late, enough with running the ball, we got to just throw down the field. Now we're asking Baker to make these throws, and he ain't even warmed up. He can't even make those throws. Even if he was warmed up, who knows if he makes those throws. It just wasn't, it wasn't smart. It wasn't smart. It wasn't good. It wasn't good. This is a coach not understanding who he has as a team. Dave Canales. This is a coach understanding who he has as a team. And I've said this again, and I'm going to say it one more time. That is a sign of a bad coach. Am I saying he's a bad coach? No, I'm not saying he's a bad coach. What I'm saying is what he is doing right now is something that bad coaches do. I like Dave Canales. I like him as our OC. But what he is doing right now is something, it's a sign of it's something that bad coaches do. Instead of seeing what you have offensively and saying, let's do more of that we're good at, he's trying to make this team a certain way. He sees the team and he's saying, I want our team to be able to do this on the field. Instead of saying, my team can do this, let's take that to the field. He's saying, I want to build my team, and I want my team offensively to attack like this on the field. And this is how we're going to have to attack, guys. Come on, guys. We could be better at doing this. Come on, guys. We could be better. We got to get better at doing this. Come on, guys. It'll work. It'll work. It'll work. Come on, guys. Okay, let's go. I want it to be like this. Let's attack like this. Come on, guys. Listen, trust me. It'll work. Hey, believe me. It'll work. Let's do it like this. Come on. Okay, it's not working. Too late. Throw the ball. That's a sign of a bad coach. Bad coaches do that. What he needs to do is say, jump ball Mike Evans, good at that. Yak yards for Chris, good at that. Jump ball, good at that. Route running, good at that. Route running, good at that. Down the field, good at that. Unstoppable, both of you guys, good at that. Go. That's go. You, Trey Palmer, speed killer. Okay, keep taking the top off. We're going to keep threatening them with Trey Palmer. Keep taking the top off. Devin Tompkins, screen plays, short plays will get you going. Rashad White, always in the flat, dump it off, will get you going. If the run game is not working, we could just be dumping it off. There's so many things we could be doing. Stop trying to force us to be that. We got to be able to run. We got to be able to run. We got to be able to run so we could play action. How do you think we've been surviving for these years, Dave? How do you think we've been surviving? That's my problem. How do you think we've been surviving all these years in Tampa? Throwing the ball. It's not like we've been running the ball and we've been able to throw the ball and we've had a number 1 or a number 2 passing offense because we've been able to play action because we've been running the ball so well. No, we've been the number 1 or the number 2 offensive passing offense in the league for I don't know how many years because we got monsters on the outside. We got monsters on the outside. That is where our strength is at. Attack the defense with them. And while they're busy trying to figure those two out, kill them underneath with Devin Tompkins, Cade Otton, Rashad White, Trey Palmer, all that. And when they're busy trying to shade one side of the field and doubling another guy, use Trey Palmer to take the top off. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. But all this, we need to be able to run so we can play action, we don't. Don't be like one of those old coaches that think it's only one way to run an offense. It's not. The NFL is not about numbers. It isn't. It's not. You can throw the ball without play action. You can throw the ball in a shotgun. You can throw the ball under center. It don't matter. Can my guys beat their guys? The answer is yes. We don't need trickery to beat them. We don't need trickery for Mike to get open. All this stuff that we're so happy that they're talking about Mike saying, I've never been this wide open. You know why he's never been that wide open? Because he's never had to wait for the rest of the offense to trick the defense for them to get sucked in for Mike Evans to be open by himself. But they're not doing that, are they? They're not doing that, are they? Because they know we just not letting this guy go. This is the guy. We watching him. We've never had to, and again, I love the trick stuff. Don't get me wrong. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that I don't like the stuff that we're doing. But we're depending on it like that's the only thing we can do. We're depending on this system like that's the only way we can move the ball. It's the only way we can survive. It's not. We can line them up and just go. They're not going to listen, even when they're covered, they're still open. Believe us. That's something that I don't know how that's going to get to Dave Canales. I don't know who can tell him that. Listen, bro, I love the play action. I love the bootlegs, and that does make things easier here and there. I get it. But when teams are like, listen, we're not letting you run, and we're going to take everything underneath. We're not going to fall. We're just not going to buy it. We're not going to buy it. You can't run the ball. We're not going to buy it. Then what? They'll say, okay, you know what? Mike Evans, let's see if you can handle him. I don't care. Let's see if you can handle Chris. I don't care. Go. Your corners are not better than these guys. I can tell you, we can tell you what route Mike is going to run, and you're still not going to cover. You're still not going to stop him from catching the ball. That's it. That's what it is. That's just what it is. Plain and simple. That's just what it is. I'm going to tell you what route they're going to run. You try to stop him. I dare you. You're not. Because even if you're there, Mike's going to body you. Period. It's not that hard, man. It's not that hard with our weapons. It's not that hard. And that's the problem. I feel like we're leaning so much on this system, like we have to run our offense through this system or we don't have an offense, which is not true. And Dave got to learn this. And again, and I understand, I'm going to say this last part and then we're going to be out of here. I understand, once again, if you guys want to call in the hotline and rant, and I'll play your guys's, whatever it is you guys want to say, 850-778-5282. We'll play it tomorrow. I'll just come home from work. I'll turn on the voice chat and I'll just either you guys call in live or I'll just play whatever voice messages you guys want to leave. 850-778-5282. That's the hotline. Call in, leave a message, man. Give me your thoughts, please. But I'm here to say this. I'm going to say this. I understand being stubborn, running the ball. I understand if he feels like the run game is very important, we can't abandon the run game. I get it. I understand it. Next week, when you're running the ball a lot and we waste a whole quarter trying to run the ball, I'm still not going to be mad because I get it. Yes, run the ball. We need to get better at running the ball. You only get better by trying to execute. I get it. I'm not mad at trying to run. I'm not one of these fans that's like first quarter, as soon as, oh, here we go, running on first down every time. I'm not one of those fans. I don't care about that. That's not the problem. I understand what your system is. I understand your philosophy. I understand what you feel we have to do. I get it. And I'm cool with it. Let's continue with it. What I'm saying is when we're going against a team like the Lions, a team like the Eagles, a team that we know our defense is going to be scrapping with. We knew our defense was going to scrap with that O-line of the Eagles. We knew our secondary was going to be scrapping with the Lions. We knew they got some firepower. We knew our defense was, hey, we in for a fight. They gave up 20 points, bro. They averaged 30 points a game, 29 points something a game. They gave up 20 points, bro. 3 of those points was because of your offense. But they averaged 20, they gave them 20 points. Okay, when it's games like that, and you see, at least in the first half, that they're showing you, listen, the game plan is we're not going to let you run the ball. That's when you say, okay, we still got next week to try to continue our philosophy and keep trying to pound the rock. But as far as today, right now, in this game, it calls for me to let it go and say, okay, they're not going to let us do that. So to help our defense that's trying their hardest to keep us in the game, let's start picking it up and do something else, because right now we don't want this game to get away from us. And we're going to be a run first team. We can still keep that philosophy, but as of right now in this game, it doesn't call for us to do that. It doesn't call for us to be that team right now. The team that goes to the Super Bowl is not the team that, well, not always, well, not most of the time, is not the team that sticks to their philosophy. This is who we are, and we just beat this team. We just beat that team. We just beat that team, because there's different matchups, and you're not going to be able to always do your philosophy. For the most part, the team that is able to say, okay, we can't do this, let's try to do that and switch it up, are the teams that make it into the playoffs and into the Super Bowl. So again, I understand your philosophy. I understand what you want to do. I understand all that stuff. You just have to realize when it's time to say, okay, this game no longer calls for us to continue to do this because we gotta get something going, and they're just not going to let us do it. That's just what it is, man. And change it up and get in your bag and switch it up, whatever you want to call it, adjustment, whatever it is. I don't know. Figure something else out because this continue to try to run right up the middle all the time, up the middle, up the middle. I just it's the second game now. It's the second game. And the fact that you said we're going to learn that you're going to be stubborn about it makes me believe that as long as you're my OC, we'll never be a problem in the playoffs. We'll be able to get to the playoffs. We'll never be a problem in the playoffs because we'll run into a playoff defense that says, oh, no, we're not going to let you run. And then we're going to look like boo-boo. And we're not going to be able to do nothing. And we're just going to be fighting with one hand. That's a real quick way to get your offensive weapons to stop believing in the system. That's a real quick way to get Mike Evans and Chris Godwin to be like, man, this is not working, bro. This is not working. Because again, they don't care that you're trying to run the ball. That don't bother them. I'm more than sure that don't bother them, just like it don't bother me. I get it. Run the ball. I get it. First quarter is over. We still trying. I get it. Fine. Cool. Don't mind it. Middle of the second quarter, we still ain't got no rhythm. Come on, bro. It's time to let it go. Middle of the second quarter, offense still ain't found a rhythm. It's time to let it go, bro. Come on. Let's find something else to get us some rhythm. We're in the middle of the second quarter and we ain't got no rhythm. Let's do something. Let's do something different. Switch it up. Something ain't working, bro. Just saying, man. 850-778-5282. That is the hotline. Call it in. Leave a message. If you're happy, you're mad, you think I'm making a big deal out of nothing. Whatever. I want your opinion. I'm not saying my opinion's right and you're wrong. I want your opinion. I want to know what you guys think, what you guys believe. Let me know. It's your man RTP, Skull Gang in the building. You know what time it is.
Skull Gang!
I'm going to bed. I'll see you guys tomorrow. It's pewter and red till we cold and dead. You know what time it is. Let me just go through a little bit of these. This offense shouldn't lose because Evans drops 2 to 3 passes. If that's the case, it shows we can't win without Evans. If Evans drops passes, the entire offense just gives up. I don't think Evans dropping passes had anything to do with it, bro. Not worried about division. Just want to see how we measure up against above average to good teams. That's the same thing I'm saying. Remember when Canales said he will always run the ball, even if it's not working, he's going to ruin this offense trying to prove a point. Yeah. I remember him saying that. Cali Bucs, how were the pass plays? I can tell what the run game was about. Again, like I got to watch the all-22 and see exactly the routes and stuff like that. And again, it's hard. It's very hard for me to believe that I'm going to watch the all-22 and not see people open. If we do, that means there's a lot of routes where Mike Evans is stopping or Chris Godwin is stopping, and I hope that's not the case. But I like the plays that Dave Canales is calling. I just think there's no rhythm to it. There is no rhythm to his offensive calling. There is no rhythm to it. And again, another point that I brought up earlier was with Byron, you would see plays would be that I would literally come on here and tell you, listen, that play worked because we did this play earlier. That's why this play worked. Setting up the defense to do this. Now, we heard Dave Canales talk about doing that. We haven't seen it yet. We have not seen it yet. Maybe he did. I'm not going to say that it hasn't happened. Maybe he did, and I won't know until I see the all-22 because I can't see much, through the broadcast. Maybe I'll watch the all-22 and say, oh, this is the same play, but instead he did this and it worked. You know what I'm saying? So maybe I'll see that and be like, okay, he did set up the defense. But as of right now, I haven't seen any plays where I'm like, oh, he set that up. Right now, it just seems like he's picking plays here, picking plays there, picking plays there. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I said that because you will see a lot of fans blaming Evans. Oh, God, I hope not. But it is what it is. Once again, if you love the Bucs, man, and you run into fans like that, this is why I have this channel. So you can copy the channel and say, listen, watch this YouTube channel. he's going to explain to you why it's not all Evan's fault or Evan's fault at all. I don't even think I mentioned Evan in this game. Like, this is the reason why I have this channel, guys. So if you guys hear people talking crazy, blaming the wrong people, you guys can always go back to this channel and say, hey, look at this channel. Watch this. Look at this video. You're wrong. He told you why. It is what it is. Shaman, Real Talk Press, here with the Pewter and Red podcast. Once again, it's Pewter and Red till we cold and dead. I'll see you guys next time I see you. Deuce, we out.